Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Jay. Uh, yeah, I just wanted to come on here to talk a little bit about what everybody's basically talking about on social media right now, and that is the Nicki Minaj and Cardi B Twitter online beef. Now, this beef started yesterday, and it basically ate up everybody's uh, internet internet feed, seeing the entertaining uh, verbal altercation between these two female rappers. The uh, the beef, of course, stems back to 2017 when the two did the song "Motorsport" together, and Cardi B, who at that time was just coming out, hadn't even had her first album out yet. Cardi B felt like Nicki was throwing subliminals at her on the verse they did together. So then, as you recall, that fashion show, back then there was a physical altercation between the two, and it's the beef have really been dormant since then. But now, it started up again yesterday with uh, Cardi B first accusing Nicki Minaj of being a cocaine addict, and Nicki Minaj accusing, yeah, Lisa's right, it's Nicki's fault. Uh, and Nicki Minaj, posting a picture of her being Barney with a wig on, uh, calling her Barney B. Uh, Nicki Minaj. No, yeah, I know. No, I know, Lisa. Yeah, Nicki started it first. She came at Cardi B. She was trying to disparage Cardi B's album sales of her new album, I Am the Drama. And then it escalated from there. Then they went into personal issues with Cardi B posting a picture of Nicki Minaj's brother in a wig. Then Nicki Minaj delivered the first blow, but she also delivered what I consider the first low blow of the Twitter beef. And that is bringing someone's child into the conversation. She proceeded to say that Cardi B's oldest daughter was a monkey and a roach. Yeah, yeah. Sean says Nicki don't like anybody. Yeah, it's true. Uh, that uh, that Cardi's children are a monkey and a roach, telling, uh, calling the little girl culture ugly, calling the future child that Cardi is carrying ugly. So Nicki brings the children into it. So finally, later, Cardi snaps, and Cardi's like, "Well, what are you doing sitting on here when it's your son, Papa Bear, when it's his birthday? Shouldn't you be there in Chuck E. Cheese celebrating it with your man and the kid?" But I forgot he can't go to Chuck E. Cheese because uh, Nikki's man, much like her brother, is a PDF file, a sex offender, so he can't go to Chuck E. Cheese. And then she mentions that he is he's autistic. That he's nonverbal. All he does is bang spoons together. You know what I mean, and make noise. He can't talk because Nikki was on all the drugs. Back in the day when she was pregnant for him. She mentions that Nikki went to IVF treatments and couldn't have a baby naturally. And then Nikki responds with, "Well, some people planned out their pregnancies, they just don't get pregnant like that." But she says, "Don't be mad at me and my kids and calling them ugly because your son's favorite color is five." you know. And then the final word from Cardi B about the beef was for Cardi B to basically say that Nicki needs therapy. That Nicki needs therapy. She writes, "This is my last time responding to you because this is past Twitter now. I gotta see you, but first I'm gonna tell you the truth. You said it out your own mouth that the little girl in you haven't forgive your mother yet, and that's because your mom used to say silent. Uh, used to used to say silent when uh, when your dad used to touch on you. Every time he did that crack pipe. I know you experience a lot of drama and abuse, but drugs is never going to help you. You need to go to therapy now. And I'm gonna let you know this today. Your husband is not stopping you from your actions because he let you do all drugs all day to numb your feelings, so he can max out your credit card. Yeah, you think I don't know? Them Queens niggas that you let in the house every time you kick them out, be coming and spilling tea in the hood. But I'm gonna be the realest person to ever tell you you need help. You need to heal the drama. You're always coming at people every time you see others happy because you got so much drama and pain you want to put on others. Your fans are gonna gas you up while you literally lose your goddamn mind. You have no friends, no family, just a man in your house that lets you do drugs. So you pass out and spend your money and buy hood chains. I'm not throwing away my career, my endorsements, going back and forth with a poison drug addict. I'll see you when I see you. So that's basically was Cardi's last response. Nicki then went off into a spiritual rant, talking about her son is a prophet, uh, a bigger prophet than she, and then she puts protection around him and all that. Lisa says something is wrong with Nicki. Like Cardi wasn't even thinking about her, and Nicki just started with her. Cardi B should have ignored her from the start, in my opinion. Yeah, yeah, Lisa. I mean, look, the truth of the matter is, Nicki Minaj's time is past. You know what I'm saying? I hate to disappoint the Barbs because the Barbs could be like a cult. You know what I'm saying? They're like a cult. You know what I mean? They're like MAGAs. They're like freaking Beehive. You know, people that are fanatical about a certain celebrity. The Barbs are like that. You know, you know what I'm saying? And they go hard for Nicki. But the truth of the matter is, to people that aren't Barb's, to people that aren't devoted to Nicki Minaj like that, her time is past. You know what I mean? At one time, she was the pink print. She was the one that all modern day female rap artists base their appeal on Nicki Minaj. They base their character on Nicki Minaj, their persona. Lisa, I mean, Sean says she been whacked. You know, you got Lotto, you got Ice Spice, you got Cardi B, you got Glorilla, Megan the Stallion, all of these other female rap artists that, you know, came out after Nicki and based their style and their flow on Nicki, but they have surpassed Nicki, especially Cardi B. You know what I'm saying? Like Cardi B is taking it to a whole nother level. She's way more personable than Nicki Minaj. She's way more kinder to a lot of her fans than Nicki Minaj. You know, that's how it is. You know what I mean? Us, David and Sean and stuff, we're wrestling fans. You know what I mean? We understand that happens to wrestlers too. You know what I mean? That you might have been a trendsetter in your day, but somebody has surpassed you. It happens in all walks of life. And that's what's happening here. Cardi B is way more popular at doing the old Nicki than Nicki is, you know. And this is what, and Lisa understands this too. Lisa's a political fan. This happens in politics as well. You know what I mean? Somebody that you may have inspired, you know, you take the blueprint from them, or as Nicki put in the pink print, and you run with it. And that's what you're doing. But see, that's what happened. You know, Nicki fell off. You know, she had her time frame, she had her periods, and she fell off, and Cardi B took the mantle and ran with it. Took it further than Cardi B could take it. You know what I mean? What basically Nicki Minaj is now is a more famous version of Azalea Banks. You know, Azalea Banks, another female rapper that came out in the 2010s. You know what I'm saying? But never really went anywhere. But just engaged in a bunch of meaningless Twitter beefs. You know, we saw this with Nicki and SZA. We saw this with Nicki and uh, you know, she even went after TMZ. She went after the Breakfast Club. She tagged Trump in a tweet against Charlemagne of the Breakfast Club, talking about uh, you know, quoting Trump. Trump had a thing with Charlemagne a couple months ago where he said, "Imagine if I used the moniker the God." You know what they would say to me, and Nicki re-quoted this. So Nicki is trying to gain attention any way she can, calling for a full-scale boycott of Cardi B. Um, just crazy shit, you know what I mean? But Cardi B, like Lisa said, she's not even thinking about it. Cardi B did an old-fashioned album rollout, and you know they know that Cardi's going on tour, and she's uh, Lisa says, "How come it's only the female rappers that can't get along? Like most of all the male rappers, but every time a female rapper comes out, it's just because for the longest time, Lisa, the rap game usually had one dominant female at a time. You know, in the early days, you had Sha Rock, the Funky 4+1, and then you had MC Light, and then you had Latifah, and then you had Lil Kim, right? And then you had Lil Kim and Foxy Brown were around at the same time, but they were in different camps. Okay, cool, David. I had to watch that. But they were in different camps. But and you know that didn't last long. You know what I mean? But then like around Eve's time, you had Eve out one time, and then you had she was dominating the game, and then you had Remy Ma dominating the game, and then Remy Ma had her issue, and right into Remy Ma's spot stepped in Nicki Minaj, and the game changed from there. Because unlike these other female rappers, they came from camps that they were not the star. The male rappers that were associated with them were the stars, and they were kind of like background players, even Rough Riders, um, Emil and Rockefeller, and even Little Kim and Junior Mafia and Foxy and The Firm, behind Jay-Z. So they weren't the stars, they were in the background. But when it came to Young Money and that crew, with the exception of Drake, Nicki Minaj's star eclipsed even Lil Wayne, who was the founder of the group, and eclipsed everybody because she was just a strong personality. And they hadn't seen anything like that in hip hop previous to that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, Lisa. Now there's a surplus of female rappers, and every woman is fighting for the spot. Lisa says there can never be another ladies' night song. No, that was a song that was unique. That was a song around camaraderie because there was so little of women in the game at that time. Women felt like they had to have form a sisterhood and stick together. Now there's so many of them, and they all kind of, they all kind of have similar lyrics and similar approaches, all basically mini Nicki Minaj's, right? And now they're all fighting for the top spot, to be the best. Ice Spice is involved in this feud. Lotto is involved in this feud. Megan Thee Stallion. I will say though that of the two, Cardi B tries her best to reach out and do songs and do stuff with other female artists. You know what I mean? She's done songs with Glorilla. She's done a lot of songs with Megan Thee Stallion. She's a huge supporter of Lotto, even though um, when she was getting on Ice Spice, because Ice Spice jumped in the Twitter beef, the Twitter beef too with a laughing emoji, and then Ice Spice and Cardi started going at it because Cardi had a yelling match with Ice Spice's manager. You know what I mean? So And one of the discs on Magnet is about Ice Spice. you know, you know what I'm saying? So those two are going at it, and but Sean's absolutely right. Nicki Minaj is the cause of this. You know what I mean? She's scared of losing her spot. She's scared of that she's not as relevant as she once was, and she's a very egotistical person, and she can't stand others, getting the shine that she gets. You know what I mean? She's had this. She feels like there's nobody that compares to her. Yeah, because Lisa says she even disrespected Lil Kim. Yeah, because she wants to rewrite history like she started female rap, and that's not necessarily true. I mean, for this modern era, but this framework was done by Lil Kim first. It was Biggie that gave Lil Kim the idea to rap sexy, and no other female rapper had done that before. Female rappers previous to that, like Roxanne Shante or the real Roxanne or MC Light or Latifah, they were rapping like guys. They were rapping, masculine. You know what I mean? But Lil Kim was the first to really rap about sex and really glamorize sex. So she's basically the grandmother of it. But Nicki wants to rewrite history like she was the first to do that. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't. You know what I mean? Because Lil Kim did it first. But I think Cardi has gone into another. Nicki's associations cost her a lot too because of the association with her husband. The associations with her brother. It cost her a lot. Maybe she should. It cost her a lot of fans. So, and Cardi's just more likable. She's just more funny. She does great interviews. She went on the call uh, call your daddy podcast, the same one that Kamala Harris went on, the only one that Kamala Harris really went on. And she spoke candidly about the album, and people respect our hustle. You know what I mean? Nicki tried to drag Jay-Z into this, tried to drag Rock Nation into it, and Cardi was just like, "Why are you dragging Rock Nation into it? I'm not even on fucking Rock Nation." But the only thing I disagree with, yo, is the kids. Don't bring kids. Yeah, I saw that too. A really good interview with Kelly Rowland too, Lisa. Yeah. Nikki has never had really good interviews. She's not a personable person, and you never really know what you're getting with her because she's such a manipulative person. And Lisa and I were talking over the weekend, like Nikki will throw a stone and hide her hand. She will put out a diss to another female rapper, and then when the female rapper gets at her, she doesn't say anything back, and then she tries to portray like she's the victim. And the Barbs try to portray like she's the victim. Eventually, these Barbs are going to start to see her crazy, unhinged behavior, and then she's going to be left in an island of, as to steal a phrase from Paul Heyman, an island of irrelevancy, to the point where nobody's going to want to fuck with her, nobody's going to want to talk to her, nobody's going to want to do anything with her anymore because she's completely ostracized by the public. Now, it's not the same thing, but you guys saw what happened to Kanye West, right? You saw what happened to Kanye West when he went off the deep end and started to tweet crazy things. He became a persona non grata in the hip hop industry to the point where nobody wants to fuck with him anymore because they view him as a mentally unstable individual. And if Nicki continues down the road she's continuing down it, she won't go into the political realm with any of the racist stuff or the crazy views, but she'll say such abhorrent views, such negative views that eventually people will not stop fucking with her and she'll become a joke, just like Kanye West. You know what I mean? So before that happens, I suggest that she heed Cardi's advice and she go get help, because and for you Barb's as her fans, should encourage her to do that, because if she goes down, it'll be very sad. Lisa and I have talked about for years on this channel various celebrities that have been at the forefront of this. Not just Kanye West, not just uh, we talked about Britney Spears, we talked about Whitney Houston, China, all these other celebrities that became ostracized by the people in their own industry, and it led them down a very destructive path. Because of their actions, and nobody and their actions became indefensible at a certain point. You know what I mean? So at a certain point, Nicki's actions may become indefensible. And if the Barbs didn't want to save her in any sort of way and care about her at all, other than right, exactly. Lisa said people get tired of the BS. If people care about her at all, any of the people that she's associated with, they would go get her help, as soon as possible, because you know, event if it's true that she got a drug problem or if it's not true that she has a drug problem. If she has a drug problem, they should definitely get her help, because if not, she's surrounded by a bunch of yes men and yes women. She'll end up like another Whitney Houston or even Wendy Williams. You know what I'm saying? And we don't want to see that for our young black sisters. We don't want to see them go down that destructive road. And nothing for nothing, but the music industry, being that it's racist and sexist, it loves to pit women against each other and sisters against each other. And that's what they want to see. That's what they encourage to see. That's entertainment to them, is our own destruction. So we should heed that and not feed into that BS. You know what I mean? And also, it's part of the bread and circuses, because at the same time, everyone, including me, is talking about this beef and being raptured up in this beef while the government is shutting down without us knowing. You know what I mean? So, um, you know, hopefully, Nicki Minaj gets help, and Cardi B should continue to do what she's doing, because she's getting under people's skin, and that's what she does best. Love you guys. Peace.